Hi, welcome to Watch It Played. My name is Rodney Smith. For years, Dungeons & Dragons has created worlds of fantasy that many of us have adventured in, around the table and with our friends. We've encountered great heroes, terrible villains, and creatures that have stretched our imaginations. But is there a creature as majestic and fearsome as the dragon? You've played with soldiers and knights, spacemen and aliens, but what if the centerpiece of your army was the great worms of the sky? Today, I want to share with you D&D Attack Wing by WizKids Games. Now, at the time of this recording, the final production is still being worked on, so much of what you see here is in prototype form. I was sent this so I could check out whether or not it would be a good fit for our series, but in the meantime, I asked if it might be okay to share what I do have and give you a quick overview of the gameplay. I hope you enjoy this advanced look. Join me at the table and let's see what we have here. D&D Attack Wing will initially release as a starter set that comes with everything you see here. 3 dragons, cards to customize them, a variety of different tokens, maneuver dials and templates, a range ruler, and dice. And again, to be clear, aside from the dragons and the dice, the component quality of these items are very much still in prototype form. So while the maneuver templates will be a thick cardboard, right now, they're just simply paper. Now, although I'd like to start by giving you an overview of the gameplay, I feel like it might be too much of a tease if I didn't first give you a nice close-up look at these dragon models. The starter set comes with 3, a blue, red, and copper dragon. So that's enough for a 2 or 3 player game. You'll field your army to the table and simply fight to the death, or conduct one of the 2 adventure scenarios that come with the starter set. These will dictate the objectives for the players and unique rewards that you can collect. Each expansion to the starter set is then going to provide more story-driven scenarios that continue to link together to form an overarching campaign. Through the campaign, you can then gain new powers and experience to further upgrade your forces. Speaking of which, when building your force from the starter set, each player picks one of the dragons, but then you can customize it with special upgrades that will provide it with additional powers, attacks, and actions. Creatures and upgrades cost a certain number of points, so players agree on how many they will each have to build their army, and that way the game remains balanced. For example, maybe I've taken the red dragon and then chosen to equip Fire Breath. This will allow me to shoot a massive cone of fire in front of me, burning everything in its path, even my own creatures, so I need to be careful with this one. Powerful attacks like this one will often take a certain amount of time to recharge, so you place timer tokens on them, indicating it can't be used anymore. Then, at the end of each round, 1 timer token is removed. Once all of the timer tokens have been removed from the upgrade, it's available to be activated once again. Along with the special customizable upgrades you can give to your creature, you'll always have certain basic attack abilities, along with all the other essential stats on your unit, which can be found on the creature cards. The game is played in rounds that are divided into phases, starting with the planning phase, where all of the players will secretly choose a path of movement for their creatures. You do this using these maneuver dials that you rotate to reveal the path of movement you want to give to your creature. Once you've found the one you want, you place it face down beside it. Then, in the order of their levels, which is indicated on the base of the miniatures, each creature activates by revealing its hidden movement. This is then executed by taking the matching maneuver template and aligning it with the slot found in the base of the miniature. These slots help maintain the accuracy of the movement on the table. To complete your movement, your creature is then relocated to the other end of the maneuver template, which also fits into the back slot at the miniature's base. Then the template can be removed. After moving, you may then execute an action. Each creature has a certain base number of actions, which are shown here, and you may also receive additional actions through your upgrade cards. Now, our red dragon has been somewhat aggressive charging in, but now it's a bit vulnerable to the blue and copper dragon, so it's going to choose a dodge action. This token reminds us that it will be a little harder to hit the red dragon during combat. After all the creatures have activated, it's time for the combat phase. Now players will take turns activating their creatures in descending level order, picking targets, checking for line of sight and range, and then rolling attack and defense dice. Let's go to the table and let me give you a quick example. The blue dragon has chosen to do a melee bite attack on the red dragon. This shows that the target must be within the front arc and no more than 2 spaces away on the range ruler. Using the range ruler, we can see that the red dragon is a valid target. Now the blue dragon will be able to roll 4 attack dice, as shown here on its creature card. There are 4 different kinds of results on an attack die: a regular hit, a critical hit, an eye, and a blank. Both eyes and blanks are misses, but an eye could be a hit depending on the abilities you use. Rolling the dice, the blue dragon has a critical hit, regular hit, eyeball, and a miss. 1 of each. But the blue dragon also has a concentrate token that was placed during its action. This can be removed to turn all eyes rolled into regular hits instead. Not too bad. But the red dragon is not defenseless. It placed a dodge token during its action, which can now be removed to take away 1 of the hits, starting with any regular ones. The red dragon now receives a single green defense die as shown on its creature card. If it rolls an evade, it can cancel 1 of the hits, starting with a regular hit. A blank side is a miss. So is an eyeball, unless that eyeball can be turned into an evade by using a concentrate token, which we don't have. So let's see what we get. Unfortunately, a miss. However, this value with the blue background represents armor. So we have 2 armor tokens. Each armor can block 1 regular hit. Looking at the results, we know we can remove this missed attack and 1 regular hit. When used, armor isn't removed. It stays in effect, unless something else causes it to shatter. That said, regular armor cannot block a critical hit. So it looks like the red dragon is going to take 1 damage. Damage is received in the form of cards that will have this illustration on the back, but for now just have these blank sides. When you take a regular hit, you collect 1 card and put it face down beside your creature. However, in the case of a critical hit, you flip it over and suffer a specific effect. Looks like the red dragon has been subdued. This tells us we'll no longer be able to use actions from our action bar, like we did when we placed that evade token. However, we will be able to take an action to roll an attack die, and on a regular or critical hit, end the condition by flipping this card face down. But whether face up or face down, these cards count as damage. You'll notice here Belagos the red dragon has a health of 6, so 5 more damage cards and he'll be defeated. After combat is the end phase, where you'll do some additional token maintenance and then start a new round of play. Now, if you've been exposed to the flight path system, which is found here and in other games like Star Trek Attack Wing, then much of this may seem familiar to you, but there are some additional features and key changes. For example, the starter set provides you with rules for ground troops that will be introduced in future expansions. These then enter combat and can attack the dragons or power them up while they're in flight. And these dragons, although they appear to be hovering above the table, also can swoop down and land and attack those ground troops. And each other. That's why we have these 2 maneuver dials, 1 for flight and 1 for when they're landed. If you're at any of the major conventions and WizKids is in attendance, you'll likely be able to go and demo this game for yourself. But if you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to put them in the comments below, and I'll gladly answer them as soon as I get a chance. And until the next episode, thanks for watching.